Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Capricorn. If Capricorn is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Prince of Wands. Pretty fiery, pretty passionate. I'm going to go ahead, lift this up. We're going to look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. It's free to subscribe. So we have this large guardian angel right here. You can see the wings and it looks like the dress or the robe and the arm extended up. And here we have, it looks like two cherries. And you can imagine just kind of that very kind of stereotypical image of the cherries. And I have something in my eye. I'm trying to... just been a mess today, you guys. I've had such a headache. And I just keep losing my words. And it is definitely just one of those days. So we have the cherries. The cherries, the cherries, the sweetness of life. And I think about this in the sense of beyond just the minimum of life, right? Beyond your the requirements to excel or not excel, but just exist, right? Being able to pay bills, having a house, or a roof over your head, food to eat. And then the cherries, I imagine, and I don't know what is in my eye. Can't just leave it alone. But the cherries would be something beyond that, right? Something, something extraordinary, like a sweet little treat of life. Something that you've worked for, something that you've been dreaming of, something that it is a passion, it is a desire. You have manifested this. And I do believe that you have had the help of angelic forces. I think that you are very much aligned with these intelligences or this intelligence. It might be your guardian angel. It maybe is an angel that you have been doing kind of work with, communicating with, praying to, or through, I should say. And yeah, I feel like you are definitely being watched over. You feel this. It is there. And I think that in the safety of that kind of divine love of spirit being so close and apparent in your life, that allows you to feel more confident, I think, in the work that you do. I think that you've been very brave. I think that you have put yourself out there. You've tried things that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. I think that your faith in something more than yourself has directly affected the way that you live, the way that you exist, and again, the way that you work. And so it has been a time of growing abundance. And there are these kind of gifts coming to you from the universe. This is, you know, after all, we have the cherries on the jackpot. This is kind of your time. You are hitting that jackpot. And I wouldn't be surprised if you did come into some kind of money or resources. Now, I don't know that this is just kind of, yeah, you went and you played a slot machine and you did hit a jackpot. Maybe that could be. But I do think this is more aligned with your work. Okay. And it seems like it is something that is more consistent. And it is something that you have a deep gratitude for. Okay. So this is a lot more sustainable. And that is a beautiful thing. That is the ultimate gift within this mundane realm, as far as being able to make a little something for yourself. Okay. So, this might really be your big year, you know, maybe better than any other. We also have, I have an E right here, and then I have an E right here. Okay, so we have 2 E's, and those seem important. Maybe a name, maybe a word. Okay, so we have, it looks like, now we turn this way and I see, it looks like an illuminated candle, and then I see a bell. So I feel like there is a sense of maybe within your home, an energy there, but this is not the same as this angelic energy. I feel like this is something that feels kind of stagnant. I think it's something you notice, but it's not necessarily very overt about what this is. So I think that what is important is you do some cleansing. Now we know we have the little bell, and this is something that you can go around and cleanse. This is why we keep them on our altars. Okay, and it's called a clearing bell. So you can walk through your home with a little bell, a hand bell, and clear spaces. And you know, if that's not something that you're interested in doing, you can, you know, do whatever works for you, whatever kind of energy clearing or cleansing ritual or technique you have. One that I do share on here a lot, which I think is quite effective, is to make sure that you are getting fresh air through your home. And I know it sounds silly, but it is. You just can't imagine how many homes, and I'm sure you've experienced this too. You walked into somebody's house. It seems like they haven't had their windows open for years. And it's not that it smells or anything like that. It might be kind of dusty or the air's a little more thick there. But there is a sense of just, there's no movement in there. It just feels like everything is stuck. It's a stagnant, oppressive feeling. And so I believe in my heart of hearts, and I am somebody who opens windows in my home constantly, is, you know, as long as the weather permits. And even if that, I will still do it for a moment if I can, even when it's very cold. And if it's really hot, then I wait till nighttime when the sun goes down, and then I'll open those windows up a little bit. But you know, even in other people's houses, I am terrible. I'm a bad guest because I will start opening windows in your home. I don't know. It is a feeling that we all know. Okay, so this is also a good way to get some of those energies moving through your house. Okay. And we know, what else? Well, you can there's things like smudging or using smoke of different kinds, incense and things like this. prayer, talisman, sigils. I don't know. There's so many things. I like to make different kinds of devices. I call them spiritual devices. Things I hang on my walls. I do a lot of like knot magic, and basically it is tying knots and tying prayers and protection and appeals and all kinds of things into them, and putting them around the house. So, whatever suits you, I do think it's something important to keep up. Okay. And now we have that illuminated candle. And so I do feel like there is a time where, this is a time where you are feeling quite connected to that other side, that other place. And it's not just spirit. And it's not just like being psychic or clairvoyant, but I do think that you are having maybe like visual messaging coming through from the other side, whatever that means. If it is somebody who is transitioned, or it is some other kind of intelligence. But I feel like there is this intense these moments where it just kind of, you almost think, oh, I'm just very like imaginative. I just get lost in all of these scenarios in my mind, and I'm seeing these, kind of like a movie reel of things going on, and symbols and just little brief stills of things. And but I do think that really this is you connected with something other than, what you perceive in the regular world, right? In the mundane world. So something to keep in mind. And also a good time to kind of write some of that stuff down. Okay, so that you have access to it later on. Because these kinds of things, I think, we can have these profound revelations and they stick with us forever. But then there are these times where it feels like we're daydreaming more, we're having more intense dreams, whatever it is. And then we kind of forget about it. So it's important to at least make a list, just like key concepts or maybe things that you're seeing, symbols like we see in the bowl, and look for patterns, go back and kind of look over the last couple months and see what are the patterns in these things that I'm experiencing. Okay, let's see. Now we have two people face to face. It almost looks kind of romantic. I even see a little heart off to the right side there. So I do think that this is it's a nod to some relationship that you have or have had. And I think that it really is in your mind right now. We are in this period of time that is right around Valentine's Day. We've also had the Lunar New Year, which I think love is very tied to that lunar energy in general. And so, this is like quite a time to really be focused on old and current times, maybe even in the future, things that you are wishing for. But I think that this is kind of somebody who is one of the great loves of your life. This is, and it feels like maybe an earlier love, maybe a love from your youth, because it seems almost unsullied. It's something that maybe kind of came apart due to circumstances, geographical or financial or whatever it was. But I do think that there is an enduring quality there. I think that you still think of this person, they still think of you. You probably have gone completely your own ways. You maybe don't even know each other anymore, but this period of your life is definitely something that you think about every so often. And I think this really is on your mind right now. And let me just be the one to remind you. Let me be mom for a second. And just remind you that so often these old loves, they seem so perfect, so wonderful. Years later, we look back and we think, oh, that was like the ultimate love. But especially if you're young, you have to consider, you probably didn't have a lot of responsibilities. You had all this time to be in love, and it was all new, and you were kind of creating your own path into the experience of love. And that is a fun and wonderful feeling. But I don't know. Do what you want to do, but I am a firm believer in not going back. Don't go back. Don't go looking for people, from 30 years ago or whatever it is. Maybe check them out, see what they're doing, but keep those things in the past. That's where they belong. They're always more beautiful there. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so it looks like we have a person here. I'm going to take a little drink. I apologize. My mouth feels dry. My headache doesn't feel as bad though, so that's nice. But it looks like they have a hat. And then we have, it looks like an elephant right here. You can see the face, the eye, the trunk there. And then below, it looks like we have somebody standing on their head and their foot's up here. And this person's kind of dancing. And it almost feels like a circus. Like, hello, or maybe this is a clown. I don't know. But it does. There's this feeling of the circus. Like everything is just kind of chaotic and loud and bright and vibrant and beautiful and somehow very like macabre at the same way or at the same time. And I just, they're I don't know if this is a real circus or it's like life feels like a circus maybe. But I see this elephant and I think, this is not, I'm not thinking of it as like an animal that is being held captive and used, for entertainment. That's not. But I am thinking of, and I do often relate this to Ganesha, but there's a sense of profound joy here. There's a sense of the ability to rise above others and other things. When you are among the chaos of many, speaking loudly, talking about nonsense and, creating ordeals and, and really what I'm thinking of is a lot of toxicity and dramas and arguing and acting like fools. You are somebody who does not partake in this. This is like the quickest way to get you out the door. I think that you're somebody that likes a kind of a more reliable, maybe a little more sedate atmosphere. A place where it feels like things kind of make sense and kind of can guess how people are going to behave. Now, that doesn't mean that you haven't been to the circus, right? You sometimes have maybe fallen into those places and sometimes even maybe enjoyed yourself a little bit. But I do think that, and I think this is that energy right there, the Prince of Wands. And it's arguing and you know, kind of being really swept away into the group, and but also being quite sensual and lustful and flirty, and you know, and I think that this is that is kind of maybe a weird place, the circus, right? But maybe a carnival, or you know, something else where there's a gathering of people who might know each other and have some history, and then it is kind of oddly punctuated by these archetypes and they're strangers, right? They're visitors, they're nomads, and kind of transient. And so, you know, this kind of mixture, I think it is somewhere to go once in a while, but I think that most often this is kind of like way too much, not what you're interested in. Now we also have an eye, and we have another eye over here, but it looks like it has a tear. And I almost kind of feel like there has been a situation where, and I'm seeing we have either it's an N or a Z, and I have a person up here with their hand kind of raised, and another person with their hand kind of raised up as well, and right here. So this kind of feeling of longing, and I feel like this maybe is partially like where maybe you had somebody you loved, you were close to, and this maybe is that relationship we were talking about. But I think that, you know, kind of lost to this discord, right? This just chaotic lifestyle. You know, it just seems like kind of so over the top. And you know, I could see where it would be hard, you know, and that happens in life though. Sometimes we have people and we have them in our lives and we love them and we connect, but our ideas of how we might want to live are so different that there's just no room for negotiation there. And so, yeah, it seems a little bittersweet. This symbol, this image here. Now let's take a look here. We have a W. And it looks like we have a 7 and a 0. So we have 70, we have a W, and we have it looks like a horn. So I think there's the beginning of something happening here. Kind of the opening of a ceremony, or the opening of like a ritual, the beginning of a new chapter, the sounding of the horn to begin. And I feel like this is something happening soon. And I think it is in a core place in your life. It does seem like something where maybe, I almost wonder if this is like when you're, maybe like I don't know, a retirement maybe, or maybe this is like maybe getting married. But this is something that you are in control of and you have chosen. And I think that there is some excitement and nervousness around this shift that is coming up. But I think that, you know yourself, and you know the path that you want to take. And I think you're pretty good at decision making, looking at a lot of factors, not just doing it blindly. Okay, so we have the Divine Doors, and these are a deck of beautiful cards that have doors on them, and then they have little poems and sayings and things on the back. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to stop where it feels right. I don't think I remember this door, but that's pretty beautiful. It is beautiful. All of these are. I love doors. Okay, it says the sacred lotus, compassion and action, the chosen tool. I see now the lotus in your spirit's jewel. All right. Compassion. Something to think about tonight. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you and I thank you for spending this time with me tonight, Capricorn. If you would be so lovely and and wonderful, well, if you feel like it, really. If you'd like the video, it does help the channel so much. And if you haven't subscribed, think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. Free to subscribe, always, always, always. And if you want to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. I do read every single one of them. Sometimes it takes me a minute to heart them, but I want you to know I do read them. And I will get to each and every one of them. Okay. Well, happy Valentine's Day. Happy... what was the other one? Oh, the Lunar New Year. We're in the year of the dragon. And yeah, and I love you. We'll talk in a few days. Take care of yourself. I'm going to bed right this second. Bye-bye.